Davies in the middle. Checks back against Carter and scores. That is atypical for the Meadow Park goal.
Quickly gets it back again. Oh, what a goal! Well, that sums up her season. The Gunners are WSL champions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Vic Akers Wonderland double special. It's a review, it's a preview, it's Bristol and Leicester. Yes, we're going over both. And to join me on this is, of course, the lovely Lottie and the magnificent Matt. Lottie, recovered from last night?
Yeah, I can feel my toes again. It's great. I'm only joking.
Yeah.
I had enough layers on not to be cold, which was nice, but I got a bit wet. I wasn't impressed, but after over 167 days, plus a few more, it was nice to be home. I'll be honest with you.
Yes, it's been a while. Sadly,
And it was
you weren't.
nice to see you in the flesh instead of over a computer screen.
Well, I'll take that compliment. Thank you very much.
Even with your voice mask trickery, I should say.
Yeah, there was a few voices. There were a few voices in the ground for those of you who were unfortunately close to proximity to me. Yes, it was good to have back Lottie. Sadly, you weren't there for the Man City game, but it was good to have you for the Bristol game. And
Yep.
Matt, sadly, you weren't there in the ground, but you were watching on the Arsenal player. Feeling good? How was it for you? First Conti Cup group game out of the way. How was it for you?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the last time we were in the group stage.
That's going to be a question that's going to come up, so hold on to that.
It's been a while, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And I was trying to familiarise myself because the last time that I was watching the group stages was if it was like a Thursday night. I wasn't doing anything. I've watched the Conti Cup, and there's always some games that are really tasty, and then you look at other groups that we'll probably come on to, and they've just been very nullified, and a lot of criticism has come under their way. Let's put it that way, because there's a couple of groups that are just double WSL. What's the word? Bundled together. I think that's the best way I can put it. But yeah, I've really enjoy these sorts of games because you get to see teams that you might not see regularly, or you get to go to places. I'm really looking forward to the games, and Southampton really going to be a great game, to be honest, to go to down to Southampton and St Mary's. So it's all to look forward to. But it's also other games in that group, going back to Reading and another North London derby as well. It's always a little bit of a bonus. So I was just getting the excitement back in, because it's an opportunity to show ourselves that there are other pluses instead of minuses to going out of the group stage instead of playing European football.
There's definitely a chance for some more games and some more rotation. This was obviously a game where there was heavy rotation in, which I think we all expected, and it was also something I think we were all a bit excited by. We've seen a lot of the same sort of faces in the early few games of the season. I know Lottie had her eyes on a certain player who we were very excited to see her make a full starting debut. Obviously, she came off the bench for the Liverpool game, but we'll get on to that in a minute. But firstly, a little bit of knowledge question. What is the French for "do you want"? Lottie, do you know what is the French for "do you want"? Matt,
I don't speak French.
Matt, do you know your French GCSE?
Oh God, it's been a long time. Do you want? No, it's
well, according to Wikipedia, it's Voulez-Vous, which of course is the song that is reverberating around the North Bank at the moment with Chloe Cass's new song, song 24. We and Lottie were both there, and I think we say it was an absolute hit. Would you agree?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, originally it belonged to Bukayo Saka, so I know that song by heart.
Yeah.
So I don't see there's absolutely nothing wrong with it being Chloe Cass, but I've been singing it in my head most of the day, so it is an absolute banger.
It is a banger, and it has all been all over the Twitter sphere. For those of you who've been following such things, there's been a lot of joy for it. That and the Kyra chant, which you educated me on, Lotta, which was also rather good. Lottie, sorry. Should add though,
Do you know what? I've given up telling you to stop doing that. Don't stop apologising, please.
I do the flip side where I say Lottie Wubben Moy when I'm on, and I get it gets confusing. But my question to you is, obviously that was Voulez-Vous, ABBA hit, 1979, cracking song, as all the ABBA songs are. So I'm going to see in terms of ABBA songs, is there one you would like to see made into an Arsenal chant? Considering the success of Voulez-Vous and considering our Swiss, growing Swiss collection of players and manager in the team.
Do you mean Swedish?
Swedish, right? Yeah. Not Swiss. Well, we have got Swiss because we have got Maritz.
We've got Maritz. But that's the wrong, wrong colours. Completely wrong colours there.
For
national teams. I wouldn't mind Amanda Illested having an ABBA song, but I don't know which one, because you've got the songs already, but they aren't ABBA songs. So
I was going to say this. If you go through the Mamma Mia soundtrack, I'm sure there's a few hits. I wanted to take a chance on Me for Gio because she's not being picked, and due to rules, she actually won't be picked because she's not even in the 25 player squad that Jonas went for. There was one actually called. I just want to get the lyrics right. I think it was this one. Yeah. So you're saying about Amanda Illested, gimme, 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 a man after midnight.
I had that one down for Kim Little.
Yeah, I think people were trying to see if they could combine that with Illested, but I'm not really sure it took off.
I think the problem is her last name is there's such diversity on how you say her name is going to cause a bit of panic. So if you just call it, it's almost like Mandy's there. You could use Mandy, or you could use anything else. But ABBA songs for any of the other players, I think someone else suggests something else for Meadow. No offense, but she's got plenty of songs as it is. She doesn't need any more. Maybe something along the lines of maybe the winner takes it all.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Do you know who needs one? Leia Cadena.
I had one for Leia Cadena, and I'm just quickly trying to find it through on my list because someone suggested one, and it was to Mamma Mia, which was I was going to go for Leia Cadena. There she goes again. My, they're not going to beat you, or something like that. So yeah, so that was one. Obviously, you have to mispronounce Leia. You have to drop the A off. Whether she would appreciate that, I don't know. But it's definitely something that's taken off with the fan base. There's a strong desire to get more ABBA on the playlist, on the football chart playlist, because of our Swedish manager and our growing Swedish influence on the team. But yes, 24, La Casse. Love that song. It's another great song. Well done to the Red and White who came up with it. Hope to hear more about it throughout the season. Going to quickly go on to the news. Obviously, there were the press conferences. Jonas was in. He was asked about the FA Cup prize money. For those who don't know, the fund has doubled to £6 million. The winner will receive 430. Sorry, that's the prize fund. £6 million is the prize fund.
Yeah.
The winners of the FA Cup final win £430,000. As a comparison, a men's team winner will get £2 million. Jonas says that while it's great that the fund is obviously increasing, which is fantastic, could we be doing more, Lottie?
Absolutely. If the men are getting £2 million, we should at least be getting half of that. I know we're in development, but 430,000, are you taking the absolute mick?
Yeah.
And I understand there's a long way to go with equal pay and everything else, and I know our lionesses are fighting for that. And they're still in disagreement with the FA about it, because I don't think they've seen anything from the World Cup at all. So it's got a long way to go. We've got to fight the FA, but the thing is, it's a double-sided sword, because if you stop paying the women, you've got to pay the men, and they'll be losing even more money, and that's what they don't want to do. But for me personally, the men, they get paid enough domestically, whereas I hate to say it, our girls are practically paid peanuts compared to the men. Although they get enough money, I don't know their salaries, but they get paid peanuts in comparison to the men. They do. When you look at some of the players, you can see who's picking up the endorsements and who's making the money and who isn't.
Yeah.
So I do feel like our girls do rely on the endorsements, but who knows? Who actually knows? Because no one knows what people are getting paid. It's the one thing I like about Arsenal Football Club. They don't tell you how much players are getting paid unless it's the men.
Well, it's just my thing at being honest is it's not just the players but the clubs itself, and it's when you have lower league clubs trying to do the FA Cup journey and they lose money by progressing through the tournament because the expenses of having to get to the travel, stay, go to the ground, travel back is less.
We see this on an international level as well. Prime example is Jamaica. That's the most prime example of it all.
Absolutely.
But every year we will see the same from, I believe it's is it Lewis?
Lewis,
yeah. Lewis, yep. Sorry, I do apologise for my pronunciation. I'm not a fan of that word.
That's how I would have
against the
pronounced
team.
it.
It's just the pronunciation.
Either, so you're not alone in that, Lottie.
Lewis, as you say, it's a fan-run club. So obviously the expense is different.
Not as much anymore because they've been invested in 5 million into the club.
There is an outside group of investors who are looking to put money into Lewis FC.
Nice.
And obviously Lewis FC is a bit of a unique one because it has no ties to a men's group. It's not a Lewis men's FC like
there is a men's team, but they're not as good as the women. Let's put it that way.
Sorry, but it's not like there's a Lewis in the Premier League or the Championship, but it's the women's team are in their own version Championship looking to push higher. So that's one to watch certainly. So obviously best of luck to Lewis. But yes, his thoughts were that questioning whether it isn't good enough. I would like to see the competition, see the clubs and the players more. Obviously, it is increasing as the interest increase, but there is an element of the FA getting away with undervaluing the product and getting away with we can afford to pay women's football less for this as long as we show an element of progression in the size of the pot. But the problem is if the game grows, that pot needs to be even bigger. So at some point,
it needs to be growing with it.
It needs to be growing with it, and it needs to start catching up to its value rather than just rising with it, because then you're always going to get the disparity.
There's more issues alongside this. Like the fact is that you've got one team getting the TV pick, or two teams because it's that needs to be addressed as well. It can't be come the third round, Chelsea get say Lewis, and then that's the TV pick. No one else gets a TV pick, and then that means no one else gets the share of the money. This is the problem. There are so many teams in the FA Women's National Leagues who are fighting top and bottom for promotion, relegation. They're in their own league cups and county cups and things like that, and it's just got a little bit of the FA Cup, a little bit of magic here and there. It always makes it go the extra mile. I remember working with Marine on their first ever FA Cup game against Sir Tom Finney, and the magic of the FA Cup was already there. Tom Finney were a couple of leagues above, but it felt like a proper FA Cup game, even though there was barely anyone in attendance.
I remember when they played Spurs. That was a good occasion.
That was the
for
men's,
the men's one. It's yes. I think there is not just undervaluing but under coverage of the FA Cup. I mean, Arsenal have been quite lucky with a few times they've got the TV pick, although it helps if you draw Chelsea in the next round.
But it also helps that with Arsenal, the club actually backs its women's team, and if it's not on the FA Player, it's not on Sky, it will be on Arsenal.com.
Well, this is a development because I remember just before lockdown we had an away trip to West Ham in the FA Cup, and there was no coverage at all. And it was the game when Leah Velti scored her first ever goal for Arsenal. It was a volley on a corner, and that's the only footage that has survived from the game. There was no footage of McCabe's goal. And I think back to the Conti Cup games before. You can go during lockdown. There was no live coverage of the games in the group, even though there was no no fans allowed in the stadium, you couldn't even go and watch them. Thankfully, we've moved past that, and there's the FA. I mean, the Arsenal game, as we're going to get into in a minute, was not only on the Arsenal website but on the Arsenal stream. And I'm really glad that Arsenal have made a big push to make it not on the website but also free, not say put behind a paywall like certain other clubs have done for their streaming services. So you got the all access for all the women's games done properly. I think we had Louise Quinn on commentary duty. So bring an ex-player. We've had obviously Jen Beattie, I think, up in the gantry at certain points as well, and she's been recovering from injuries. So fair play to Arsenal for that, but other clubs need to follow suit. And to be honest, we could do with a few more games. If the BBC and ITV could put the round 1 of FA Cup fixtures for the men on, which have been doing the rounds, I think it was either this weekend or last weekend, there's no reason why a similar arrangement can't be made for the women's game, even if it's on the red button or ITV4. At least have access to it, and at least have access to a decent crop of highlights, because clubs like Lewis, clubs like Crystal Palace, Sunderland, further down the table, a bit of TV coverage would go a long way to help fund a lot of their expenses for the season. That was the Jonas Eidevall press conference. In other news, Gareth Taylor was asked about the comments he made over Jonas Eidevall's, stating that he had been bullying the fourth official, and Gareth Taylor had to step in and protect the fourth official, even though it wasn't his job. Jonas responded accusing him of slander. Gareth has since said he'd like to draw a line under his comments, and we should all move on from them. Lottie, thoughts?
How did I know you were going to come to me?
I could see your face was seething, so I thought I need to let this loose on the pod.
For my audio listeners, I'm very reactive in my facial expressions. Oh my god, it is slander, because it didn't look like that from, I was watching the game from home. It didn't look like that to me at all.
It wasn't true.
No, it wasn't true. Even my stepdad, who's a Tottenham fan, turned around and said, "What's he talking? He's talking nonsense."
Yeah.
And slander is slander. He's been called out on what he's done, and then he's backtracks on it. So it's a case of, okay, be quiet. We don't want to hear what you got to say anymore. For me personally.
Yeah. As someone who stood behind the dugouts, it's like I was there thinking this doesn't correlate with what I heard.
Actually,
or
that
saw.
is a fair point. Your season ticket's behind the dugout, isn't it? So you should know. You've had.
And that's why I said on Twitter, I said,
me and Matt were at home, and you've had first-hand sight right in front of you, because you're behind the Arsenal bench, aren't you?
Well, no, okay, this is a good point we're going to raise, because it's caused a bit of confusion. I'm not now. So Arsenal have made a change, actually. They have swapped their home and away dugouts. So, and also, they've swapped the ends they're kicking. So we noticed, for us in the North Bank, then I kicked to us in the first half rather than the second. We believe this is because this is always an easier thing, because there was a rumour that it was to do with maybe lining up with the Emirates, but actually Jonas has explained in his post-match conference, it was something to do with that the dugout now that they're in is closer to the changing rooms. So it's a bit easier in terms of navigation, and they don't get their view obstructed by officials running up and down the pitch. So it's more of a logistical decision. The frustrating thing is, yes, I'm now stuck behind Gareth Taylor.
It benefits us rather than the away team.
It's benefiting us. Unfortunately, well, it means now I can heckle away managers from loudly from behind them if I really wanted to, without maybe getting kicked out. But it means I'm stuck behind the away bench, and it means that if you're in the North Bank, you're not getting the joy of the second half. Like the old shooting towards the clock, the clock end, the Stretford end, whatever it is. There's always a particular stand that players prefer to kick towards, and we've sort of lost that with the North Bank, because now they're kicking towards well, there are fans there, but it's not a major stand at the moment. So a bit of a on that one. I don't really agree with the decision, but it's they won, so it's obviously done good stuff. But yes, Gareth Taylor has been exposed as a bit of a. I don't want to use the word, but bit of a liar, really. I think it was a deflection tactic after a poor result, and I think rather than maybe
he's been called out and he can't defend himself.
Yeah,
that's the end of it. To be honest.
It's a classic manager trait, though, isn't it, to deflect everything and try and find some sort of blame, whether it's the referees, whether it's the other manager, and just try and sort of vote the media into making up more headlines than there needs to be.
Yeah, I look at Jonas and think of when we lost at the Academy Stadium last season, and what did Jonas say? He held his hand up and said, "Yeah, that's on me. I got it wrong for the team." I look at the men's team and Arteta. When it goes wrong, what does Arteta do? That's on me, guys. I take responsibility for it. With Gareth Taylor, it's never him. It's the ref. It's the opposition manager. It's the players. never him, and I think that says a lot. A few more bits of news. Chloe Cass won WSL Goal of the Month. Congratulations to Chloe. What a way to get your first Arsenal goal. Great goal. Hopefully more to come. Haven't really seen much of her to get a full, in-depth sort of view on her, but very exciting from what I've seen so far and looked very sharp last night. Also, big congratulations to Katie McCabe. 200 appearances for the Gunners. Very, very good, strong return. She's a good player that's got better and better and better as seasons have progressed. I wasn't following the games as much when she first arrived, and she didn't really have she didn't really settle in her first few years. Went up on loaned up to Scotland for a few months, and then sort of came back when Joe Montemuro took over, and she's gone from a young talent to a strong left back, a strong left forward, to one of our captained the team last night. Terrific player. Really lucky we have her. I'm glad she's obviously was to extend her contract over the summer. So we've put it off for long enough. Bristol City, Arsenal 3, Bristol City 1. Goals from Frida Liadson-Mornham, Lotte Wibbermoy and Stina Blackstenius, with Struck getting the only goal for Bristol City. Quickly go on the starting 11. So Sab's in goal. I think we all expected that. McCabe, Lotte, Yen Beattie, and Maritz, the back four. Katrine Mollekal and Kyra Cooney-Cross partnered in the midfield, with Hurtig, Frida, and Mead just behind Stina Blackstenius in attack. So first Arsenal start for Kyra Cooney-Cross. I'm going to have to come to you with this one, Lottie, because I know you're a huge fan of Kyra. How chuffed were you to see her not only make her first start, but also for you to be there for her first start as well?
It was just the perfect welcome home to Meadow Park, basically, for me personally. Just looking back on the highlights of her as an individual, as a individual player. Sorry, lost my words there. The long balls, the pinpoint passing, the defending, it's everything that we saw in the World Cup. And for her, I think she got about 60 minutes. I'm not 100% sure because the scoreboard is not working in Meadow Park, so we have to find the game ourselves.
No, I can find it. I think she got actually close to about 80 minutes, 85 minutes. Palova came on for a late on, and I think that's just because her legs.
Yeah, I know it was late, but I wasn't sure how late because obviously there's no scoreboard in Meadow Park.
5 minutes left. It's last 5 minutes.
Massive shout out to Boreham Wood FC, by the way. They've now got a board outside with Boreham FC on it, and Home of the Arsenal Ladies is on there now, which I'm absolutely loving. Sorry, back to Kyra Cooney-Cross. Yeah, I was just so excited to see her live. She's brilliant, absolutely entertaining. Apart from the two ball boys that were on hand that were in the way half the time.
That's what they were. I wonder what they were doing standing there.
Yeah, they had the pink things on, and they decided to start having arguments with us, and it's just like, just go and be cold elsewhere. You're in my way. But yeah, no, brilliant. She had a brilliant game. I mean, I think this is probably a bit bold for me to say. I think she will eventually become Kimmy Little's replacement.
Well,
I think that is the angle for it, because the way she pulled the strings in the midfield, very Kimmy-esque for me.
Well, there's a few players.
You guys have been watching Kimmy a lot longer. I don't know what you
Well,
thought.
I mean, I'll always say I only really truly appreciated the majesty of Kim Little when I watched her in person and watched how she runs the midfield. I mean, it's one thing watching on TV; it's another thing close up, and you just think,
"Oh no, absolutely."
Is there really a player that can do what Kim Little does? That's the mission now.
But you can have the essence of Kim Little there come through from someone who's actually watching and learning from her day to day. That's why I said Kim-esque, not she's the next Kim Little. I will never say that, because you cannot replace Kim Little. The vast experience, the amount of time she's spent at Arsenal, there's a reason why she's our captain.
Yeah.
But when you've got someone as young as Kyra, who's new to the WSL, and you're sitting in the training room, sitting there watching and learning, Kim is the perfect mentor. Yeah. Especially if we know that that possible retirement is on the horizon.
Well, there's a few players we've got lined up. There's a few players who've had the title of potential Kim Little successor. Matt, I'm going to come to you for this one. Kyra's partner, Katrine Mollekal, I think had a rather strong game in the centre of the park, also some nice touches. Her and Hurtig came in from the cold to start this one. What do you think?
Well, Katrine's done really well from where she was last season. She was getting bit of minutes here and there. She seemed very shy to start with, but you've seen that maybe she's had to step up a little bit more because of injuries and other issues over the past season. But she's done really well, and she has developed a lot more. A lot of people were saying that she deserved the supporters player of the match.
Should just say that was given to Lotte Wubben-Moy in the end. She was and she had a good game as well. We should say she's had a good start to the season. But yeah, sorry, Monaco.
Yes, she was fantastic. She was fantastic, and I give her credit because I have given her a bit of stick, but it's more about she's not there. She's still a bit raw. I still find she is a little bit raw, but not as raw as she was, say, when she came in and playing in that FA Cup game against Leeds. With Lena Hurtig, it was so hard for her to come in at times last season because of injuries, that, and the other. This season, she has come in again, had another couple of had one injury that's forced her out. Now she's come back, and she did have a solid game, but the one problem I had was because I wasn't there, I wasn't able to see how she did properly, because you don't get to the amount of times that I was shouting at the FA player or whoever was up in there, a camera, whatever, whoever was doing the operations. They weren't switching the cameras quickly enough, so half the time, I think there was an opportunity for Bristol, and they were still on a replay of something else.
Right.
Which was
okay.
Silly. That they need to stop doing things like that, because I remember just go back to the North London derby for the men's a couple of years ago, when Arsenal went up and scored in one goal, and then 16 seconds later Cesc Fabregas comes in and he scores, and then you're too busy focusing on that, we don't even know what happened, so then you have to show the full replay. It's just
but that made the goal even better, though, because it came out of nowhere, and it was like, oh, we've got another one. It was even got that sort of double injection of serotonin. It's fantastic.
But just imagine, though, if, say in FA Cup final, say against a City or a Chelsea or United, whatever, say Arsenal go and score that first goal, and then you're sitting at home watching it, not knowing what's going on, and then 10 seconds later, Arsenal gone and scored again.
Usually when you get to that stage, there is there's enough delay in the kickoff for the broadcaster to get the replays and then move back. I mean, it is a bit apples and oranges, but I do grant that the use of the replays is a bit frustrating. I mean, I remember when the FA player was just one camera. It was just one camera the guy just had on the stick and just moved it from left to right. There were no replays. There weren't alternate angles. There weren't any fancy stuff. It was just one man in a camera just going, yep, we're over there, and now we're over there. And even though there's part of the stadium is blocking my view, I'm still going to be pointing the camera over there. And it was terrible. So, take the nib off with the smooth. I should say they were attacking the North Bank in the first half. And when Hurtig, she was actually attacking our corner where me and Lottie were. I thought she looked really good in attack. A lot of really strong runs, trying to get to that byline to get the cross in. Won a lot of corners. So I think there is promise with Hurtig as a forward alternative. I think forward came on for her about just over 20 minutes to go. But she had a good runner, and I think we'll see a lot of Hurtig in the Conti Cup, and I think it's perfect to let the likes of her, the likes of Monaco and Kyra get those minutes in the legs. I think we saw at the end of the game, especially with Kyra, as the ball for her legs went 5 minutes to go. I think she was cramping up. I think she had to come off, but I think she showed a lot of promise there for future games, but she needs those match minutes, and she hasn't had those because the games have been so marginal. We can't risk throwing in a player who, as we've seen, may not be up to it fitness-wise. But against Bristol City in the Conti Cup, I think she did very well. I think we've got Southampton away next. I can definitely see her starting that game and maybe having even more of an impact. But yes, full credits to Kyra. Really excited. I didn't know much about her when she came, but I'm glad she has come along because she looks amazing. The game itself, Stina had a goal ruled out after 20 seconds for offside.
17 seconds.
Oh, it was even short. It was even shorter. It was 17 seconds. Now I don't know what the replays were like. There's a few eyebrows raised, a bit of suspicion. Matt, was it offside?
it didn't look it.
Right.
And that's
Okay.
not the Arsenal glasses or anything like that. Just from everything. As soon that I don't know. I think that referee on the assistant referee, sorry, definitely earned their money last night because he was waving it around every 5 minutes.
There was a lot of offsides from our end of the pitch. It was rather frustrating because every time it was like, oh
Yeah,
no, offside.
I think he felt it from the north stand. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
He
And
knew
there was-
about it.
there was a
I
lot of
think he was a
boos.
gentleman. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
It was, yeah.
The thing is, I mean, no VAR. Offsides are going to be difficult, and I know
I love it.
Yeah, Stina does get caught a lot of the time offside, but that's because she's always looking to make those runs in behind, and more often than not, you will get talked offside. I always say you've got to get the ball quicker to her. I remember that Conti Cup final game against Chelsea. She had one talk for offside because the winger dallied in getting the ball over the top. If you get it to her quicker, she will get there.
Or Wolfsburg. Do you remember the game against Wolfsburg?
Well, there's two games. Two Wolfsburg games in a row. So the Wolfsburg last season and the season before that, she had a goal chalked off for offside. But we didn't have to wait long. I think it was 30 minutes? Was it 27 minutes? Sorry. Sweeping move from the midfield through to Mead. Frida in off the crossbar, 1-0. Matt, she's up and running for the season.
Yeah, and it was fantastic goal, to be fair to her, because she has been a bit of a worry for a lot of players because mentally she hasn't been there. She's been having those efforts when she should have been passing. She's been passing where she should have been having those efforts on goal. She just, I don't know if she just eyed it and thought, you know what, I'm going to have a go. And to have that clip it on the inside of the bar and then it's so satisfying.
It's so satisfying.
And it was fantastic. It was fantastic play from the whole team from start to finish, and it was just very typical Arsenal goal, isn't it?
I was always nervous with the whole low block that Bristol were going to do, like we did in the away game, that there would have been an element of growing frustration and us desperately flinging crosses in. Should add that's another assist of Beth Mead. It's a start for Beth Mead. I think it's the first start of the season coming from ACL. Massive congratulations to Beth Mead. Great to see starting a game. She got, in the end, just over 60 minutes before Lacasse replaced her in the second half, who also had a really good game as well. But it was good to see Mead start, got a rousing reception from the home crowd, which you can understand. Not too long later, on the 36 minutes, Lotte, with a glancing header from a McKay cross in off the back post, and a lovely goal celebration to go with it as well. Lottie. It was all part of the sort of, it was almost a bit of a party atmosphere. There's a sense of we're just going to keep going and going, and it was all rather lovely.
Yeah, we're Conti Cup champions. We know what we are.
Well, it's
so
true.
I think in terms of Lotte's celebration, I think that was really, like, we all know what kind of person Lotte is. We think she'd run the country and everything would be all right. And the fact that she kept her promise to little Izzy, it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
We saw her do it. The North Stand absolutely erupted because we all knew, we've all seen the clip of the Lionesses, and she did it. And I just hope that Izzy is aware that she did keep her promise.
Yeah.
I mean, she does so much in the community. She's just an all-round lovely person.
Yeah.
In terms of her goal, I love it when Lotte scores because Lotte's one of the first players I saw actually live to score a goal.
Yes.
So it's always brings back fond memories. I mean, I went to about 3 games and then Lotte decided to score along with an assist from Tobin Heath against Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
Yep, against Wolfsburg, and I was sitting upstairs with you. I think.
Yeah.
Just Adam.
I was there. With some work.
You wasn't at that game, were you?
I wasn't there. No, I was sitting at home watching.
Yeah, Adam, you were the next block along, but I could see you from where we were sitting. But we were both on club level. I'm never going on club level again. It's not for me. I like to be with the commoners on the lower tier.
Oh, I see.
It's more fun, and I can sing my head off without getting dirty looks. And I believe someone was gossiping about the Queen behind me, and it irritated me at the time. But yeah, no, back to Lotte's goal. Great goal, great assist. I want some more. I do feel like Lotta's stepped up her game since I first really watched her live at Wembley against Chelsea. Because I think
we should say it was the restoration of that back line was back. The Lotta Yen partnership was back in full effect.
Hang on, I'm just going to get on that. Hang on. Every time when I'm with Adam, the line that's come out, if we're in Meadow Park, and he goes, "Oh, look, Lottie, it's Booty and Lotta, trauma," and I'm like, I will sit there and be like, "Do you know what? It's fine." Because if you just look at the progression of how Lotta's been playing, she stepped up and improved so much in her defending, and she knows that she possibly could be first choice at this point, because obviously Leah Williamson's not around, and between Jen, let's be honest, Jen can't do full 90 anymore. She's at the point where she can't do full 90. She's better off the bench for me.
Well, she actually did a full 90 last night, but you could tell by the end of it she was struggling.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think she had a head injury as well. Don't think that helped. So yeah, she was struggling towards the end, and then we obviously. Yeah, I've lost my trail of thought now. Thanks for that.
It was good to see Lotta back, because obviously we're short defensively. Leah Williamson's still out injured. We've needed people to stand up, and step up. Lotta has stepped up.
Domestically, you can always rely on Lotta, but Lotta's also, I feel like she wants a spot in that Team GB next summer.
If we get there.
Yeah, exactly. If we get there. And I also feel like she wants Serena Wiegman to trust her to start. And my question is, what has she got to do to start? I mean, Morgan.
Yeah, I know. We've had the question.
I've got nothing against her, but I'm just putting my Arsenal hat on, and I'm like, play Lotta, leave Esme Morgan on the bench,
or Jess Carter, or Alice Greenwood.
Either of those.
If you pick either of those, sorry, Lottie, if you pick any of those England players at the moment that can play in that central defence, none of them have that passing range that, apart from Leah.
Yeah, Lotta
can do that job. She essentially picked that up from Leah, and she can roll with it. Whereas Jess Carter is a bit versatile across that back line. You see Millie Bright, she's more of a wall, so she's just there to block anything that comes in. So she's not really built to play long balls across to either the one side or the other, or put it into the midfield, come rushing in. She's not that quick to cover those distances. So there, Alex Greenwood has got it in her locker.
Just out injured at the moment, obviously, with a head injury. And
she's got the concussion, but she'll be back this weekend.
Lotta's made no secret about that. That's what she wants. She wants to be treated as, and I think she's justifiably. I think she's been in 2 major tournaments now in squads and not played at all. But she wants to be seen as I'm not just a squad player. I want to be treated like a Leah Williamson. I mean, she kept Bunny Shaw in her pocket in the Man City game in the weekend, and she's going to get plenty of games between now, provided she's fit, between now and obviously the new year, because Leah is still a ways back from full fitness, and it's going to be her and Amanda, her and Kadina, maybe Amanda Kadina as well, but around those 3, they're going to get rotated around. Plenty of games for Lotta to take her case, and obviously we hope she is successful. So half-time 2-0, 2 great goals. I think McCabe almost had a third of a rasper, but it was not to be 3 worldies against Bristol in a row against Bristol, sadly. I think we were all happy with how the first half went. I don't think we had too many complaints, did we, with how it was pretty professional?
No, absolutely not. My only complaint was the weather. That was it. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Although we were partly dry, we got a bit wet.
Yes, it was quite a wet evening at Meadow Park, but it all adds to the atmosphere. Second half, I kind of felt we stepped off a bit. I did feel like the handbrake, in the words of Arsene Wenger, the handbrake had come on. We put some subs on. We rotated out 4 players. Catley and Lacasse came on for McCabe and Mead. Great to see, McCabe, 200 appearances. I thought she had a good run in the first half, subbed off, keep her safe for Leicester, which is good to see. And likewise, Mead, a good 60 minutes in the legs take her off, keep her fresh, maybe even get a start against Leicester, fingers crossed. Lacasse comes on. And then I think about a few minutes later, it was Ford and Viv on for Frida and Hurtig. Again, Hurtig good run out, but I think seeing Viv back, a few more minutes in the tank, great to hear up. And this is what I want to lean on to you, Matt. We're going to come on to the Bristol goal in a bit, but Viv, a lot of her influence was obviously at the other end of the pitch. Me and Lottie couldn't really see what she was doing. What were you seeing from Viv? Is she looking good? Is she looking influential in that sort of 10 position?
I would probably say it was very eerily similar to the game at Ashton Gate when she came on. She came on and she was influencing the game from the minute she was on. And there was opportunities where she hit the crossbar. There was opportunities where she was basically just directing the play. Her game intelligence is so key for how we play and how we conduct ourselves. She is basically a conductor in herself, the way she does things. But she's not alone in that. You've also got if Viv was 100% fit and ready to go, I wouldn't be surprised if she was starting alongside the usual two in the midfield in Leah Velty and Kim Little. You've got three there.
At Leicester, you think she might start at Leicester?
I don't think so. Not because I know she's slowly building her fitness up at the moment, and she doesn't want to go full 100%. I think we'll probably see her in the second half, but it'll be a case of what happens at Leicester. I won't go with
what the game state is. You know, if we're 3-0 up with 30 minutes to go, throw her on. But if it's 1-0 and we're clinging on a bit,
might have to chuck her on.
Might chuck her on anyway. Regardless, well, we'll see how it goes. So yes, but unfortunately, about a minute after it came on, I think it was pretty much immediately from the substitute. Bristol had a set piece, long punt into the box. BT and the Bristol player go up for the header. Neither of them make any contact, and suddenly it's come out to, I'm going to get the name right here. Sorry, Struck. Thank you, Matt. You may have failed on your French, but your German's, assuming it is German, it sounded German.
No, it's Danish.
Oh, Danish, rather. See, I don't know my Swiss or my Swedish or my German from my Danish. I am geopolitically all over the shop, so apologies to all nations of Europe, especially Denmark. So, Struck volleys in, a brilliant finish to put Bristol 2-1 up. From what you were seeing, it's 2-1 down, sorry, 1 goal back. I know I'm all over the shop tonight. Bristol get a goal back. It's 2-1, just as it was at Ashton Gate. Matt, thoughts? Switched off from the set piece there?
I think it was a bit of an odd one because everyone seemed to make their mind up who they were going to mark, and then all of a sudden Struck comes through unmarked, and again it was eerily similar that a lot of our goals that we've conceded this season have been because of the late runs. So I don't know who's doing the set pieces or who's making these decisions on set pieces. Someone needs to be making sure that they pick up the late runners no matter what. And if it was really bad at the moment, like, every time we were undone, it is literally a late running into the box from, Chloe Kelly, Matters Pacquiao as well. You could probably even in the defeat against Liverpool against Liverpool, it was all late runs into the box and no one was picking them up. So we need to figure out what we're doing, who's picking up the late runners and making sure of it, because come Sunday's late kickoff against Leicester, that could be a cause for concern, because it could quite easily be, oddly enough, I think City got their goal from a Leicester corner when they won up there. So
on a counter-attack.
Yeah, so I imagine if that I could imagine something similar happen. We go up for a corner or something, and that next minute City Leicester counter-attack, and that's how they score one of their goals.
For me, it's one of the heinous crimes. They always say don't make a substitution before a corner, because the new players are coming in, they're not defensively in tune with everybody else. And I felt it was the same. I felt we made a substitution just before what actually became an attacking set piece, even though the free kick was in the Bristol half. And I don't think that contributed well to it. And it was a good volley from, as you say, Danish defender, Silly Struck. who was signed, I think it was September this year, on a 1-year contract, and I think she's done a bit to pay back that investment. It was a pretty good finish. It's another clean sheet down the toilet. As we're going to come on to the Leicester game, Leicester were the last team we actually got a WSL clean sheet against, which is the Conti Cup. So more improvement needed there. Again, it's another frustration because they only had 2 shots on target in the entire match, and yet we conceded from one of them. Should just clarify, just in terms of stats, we had 20 shots to their 3 and 6 on target to their 2. So maybe 6 to 2, 3 to 1. Maybe there is an accurate representation of maybe the goals on there. But it's always frustrating, is it? Like at Ashton Gate, they had 1 chance and they scored. Here they had 2 chances and they scored 1. It's just trying to eliminate that. And games are so much easier when you keep clean sheets. What it did mean is for the last 20 minutes, we were sort of worried that Bristol might somehow pull the rug out from under us and make it 2-2. And Conti Cup rules goes to a penalty shootout, and I really didn't want that on a late rainy night at Meadow Park, given how our previous penalty shootout went. So we went on the attack. As you mentioned, Matt, Viv hit the crossbar. Ford hit the crossbar as well with another nice effort. But it was Stina yet again, second game in a row, late goals. Long ball from Sabs, Ford through to Stina, and it's a very nice finish. Lottie, we couldn't really see it from our end, sadly, because of where we sat. But a bit of relief, I think, all round that Stina was able to sort of seal the game off at the end.
Oh no, absolutely. With that goal, it was brilliant. It was better than her attempt earlier, which sent it out and over the
I didn't want to bring this up, but yeah.
So it was a bit comical, actually, to be honest. But sometimes it's just, I feel like Stina needs to take a moment, like not too long, but a quick moment just to compose herself and be a bit more clinical. Because she did have that goal was kind of open. It should have gone in, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Stina's goal, I love it when she's continuing her form from the summer.
Yeah.
And she hasn't really lost it. Her confidence is sky high. I mean, Lena's back up on her feet as well, which is great to see. I mean, we saw some brilliant football from her. But with Stina, she's getting so much better at being offside and staying onside. Hopefully she'll be onside more than Sam Kerr this season.
Would help.
Again, but hey ho.
I don't think it's an element of she's missing the easy chances, but she's scoring the difficult ones.
And the thing is, would you rather a tap-in merchant or some some great goal when
penalty merchant?
Yeah, exactly. But do you know what? A goal's a goal, but like sometimes you sit there and just think, yeah, that was a goal, but it wasn't fantastic. When you're seeing difficult goals like the goal she's scoring, they're the ones you remember. And it's the ones that you enjoy. It's a bit, as I said earlier, Lotta's goal against Wolfsburg. You're not going to forget that.
No, I haven't forgotten it, and I hope I never will. It was a brilliant moment. Matt, just a quick few thoughts on you. It was a nice bit of direct football. I think we could say Sabs was brought in. She's a sub-keeper, but Jonas talks a lot about her long ball distribution, and it was a very direct route one straight through Bristol for the third goal.
Yeah, and the ball comes originally from Casey McCabe making a nice ball. And then
that was the Man City game.
no, Katie's actually, the ball's passed out to Katie. Katie's then
she was subbed off for Catley. It was Catley then. It must have been Catley then.
Yeah, it must have been Catley.
Yeah,
Catley. I do apologise. Anyway, long ball over the top. Both Caitlin and Stina are fighting now, deciding who's going to take the ball. Caitlin decides to take control of the situation and just makes that run. Stina carries on her run. And then Caitlin makes a nice little easy pass for Stina, and then Stina smashes it in. As Lottie has already mentioned, I think she was kicking herself actually towards the end of the game because she could have had a few to add to that, and I think she was in tears because she knew how frustrated she was with herself. But it was one of those nights where I think, okay, we've had 20 shots on target, as you've said, Adam. I think you said 6 of them were on target.
Yeah,
it just meant that we need to be a little bit more clinical in front of goal, and it's getting that confidence back up.
Just a little fun stat. This was I mentioned this, I think, to Lottie on the night, but this was our first win in the group stage, not requiring penalties since 2019. 2019. Our last time in the group stage was 2020, but we and I should say that's actually to clarify that's as home wins. I should say, because in 2020 we had an away win at I think it's now known as LCL. I don't know, either LCL or Millwall at the time, Millwall Lionesses. But it's our first home win at Meadow Park.
Yeah, they're London City Lionesses now. They're not Millwall. They've got nothing to do with them.
I can't remember which point of their transition they were there. But yes, our first home win, Meadow Park win in the Conti Cup group stage since not requiring penalties in 2019. Matt, do you know who it was we played and beat that day?
I have a feeling it was Bristol.
It wasn't Bristol. I tell you what, it begins with a B. If you can, well, sort of a B. If you can guess this, I'll be very impressed.
That's the problem, isn't it? It's because they changed the team. They changed how they did it a lot of the time, because originally it was done by London teams. So it's a London prefix team, if that's a clue. London Bees.
It was the London Bees. 9-0. It was a 9-0 win at Meadow Park against London Bees. I haven't really seen much of them since. I don't know what's happened to them.
They got relegated from the Championship and now playing in the FA National League.
Oh, so they won't be so that's why they're not in the Conti Cup anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I know a friend of mine signing for them soon, so really quite exciting times.
Excellent. Well, hopefully they can be back amongst the Championship soon. So that was the game. 3-1, 3 points on the board. Arsenal moving up to the higher end of the group. 4 wins, and we're straight into the quarterfinals with Southampton, Spurs, and Reading. Hopefully, we will get the 3 points there. So before we move on to Leicester at the weekend, just a few quick thoughts from you, Lottie and Matt, on the full performance and maybe some of the players that caught your eye. Lottie, I'm going to come to you first. Who is?
It's got.
And you can't say Kyra. You can't say Kyra. You can't say.
No.
All right, I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it.
Lost my headset.
I'll let you have.
You can't do that to me. No, I'm not having that.
You can have
she
Kyra.
Played 80 minutes. Yes, I'm going to have Kyra. I'm still kind of just in awe that I was there for her debut, sort of thing, and it's kind of. I was talking about this to you as of yesterday. Emil Smith-Rowe is one of my favourite players on the men's team.
Of course.
And his original number was 32 when he first came into the first team. And Kyra Cooney-Cross has got that number, so I'm like, that's
your player now.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, no, I obviously really enjoyed watching her through the World Cup just as much as Riley did. Steph Catley did her thing, and we've got her now. But for me, I'm actually going to get player of the game to Lena Hurtig.
Oh, that's yes. I think yes.
Brilliant. I have seen a side to Lena that I haven't seen before. I've been patiently waiting to see what she can do, and her positioning, her passing, her getting forward into the right places, occasionally getting stuck in the mud, but majority of the time she managed to escape defenders. So like she'd take 2-1 when she was coming towards the North Bank and outsmart them, and I really enjoyed watching her that day.
Yeah. She wasn't hiding.
Yesterday.
She wasn't hiding.
Oh no, absolutely no. She was just a different player, and it's the Lena Hurtig we saw glimpses at the World Cup, and I want this Lena to stay. I don't want the timid version of her to come back.
No.
So player of the match is going to Lena Hurtig from me.
I want the Hurtig that scored the penalty that knocked out America and led to the USA coach leaving. And led that Emma Hayes leaving Chelsea and thus saving football.
Exactly.
Matt.
Well, thus saving WSL.
And WSL as well. Matt, same or different? Are you going to give me a different player that you caught your eye?
It's difficult because just watching it, a lot of people were talking about Katrina McCall, we've mentioned earlier. I think Frida coming out and scoring that goal has done a world of good for her.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to put down to one player. Lotta ended up getting player of the match in the end. I thought we did really well to try and keep Bristol as quiet as we did defensively, and that was I think I put down Noel Merritt as my player of the match, but although she didn't do much, but I thought she did really well. I'm just gonna No, I couldn't really pick anyone if I'm honest.
I would say keeping a Bristol. I know it was only Bristol City, but it was a team we played in the WSL only a few weeks ago. And the fact that we with a second string team, we got arguably an even better result says a lot about our depth. And I think that's the big story is the fact that that was, that as much as that was a heavily rotated second string team, that was a very strong team. We've got effectively two very strong teams as we've seen. And
thing is, I feel like Bristol did play their second string as well.
Right, yeah, Rachel Furness. She did come off the
we
bench.
did not see her because, like, the first thing I looked for on that Bristol team sheet when I was standing with Adam, I went, "Rachel Furness is on the bench. Yes, we're going to be fine."
She came off.
And I think
came on in the second
my
half.
biggest worry was that midfield if she did come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think they played a balanced second string / first team. If you look at that, but I don't know Bristol well enough to confirm that. But that's what it looked like to me.
Our friend from Bristol did say that they played really well, even though they did lose.
I think that there was a decent enough team, but I was impressed that we were talking about fluency and connections, and obviously the team hasn't played that much together, if ever. And we've seen in the men's team how that can negatively impact in certain League Cup ties. I was very impressed how they were able to forge those connections during the game, and obviously when the cavalry came off the bench, it did obviously help us getting over the line. But very excited to see how some of these players are going to play, and I'm very much looking forward to the away trip to Southampton. So that was Bristol over to one side. We are back in with WSL now. At WSL this weekend, we have the late kickoff, hooray, away at Leicester City. So quick shout out, Willie Kirk took over at Leicester last season, led them to safety, won Manager of the Month for October. So it's been a good start from Leicester. They are currently 7th, 10 points. I think, they're 7th, aren't they? 7 points, I believe it is. I did a typo on my notes because I can't spell. I'm going to quickly get that verified. 7th place, 7 points. Arsenal are 5th with 10 points, so 3 points ahead. Thoughts on Leicester this season, Lottie?
I'm quite looking forward to watching them actually because they've had a few very, very good signings. I mean, they've also brought in Courtney Nevin, which I'm intrigued to see because obviously she plays internationally with Cooney-Cross, Catley, and Caitlin Ford.
That's the left
and
back,
having
isn't
her
it?
in that, it is. So it'd be interesting to see how she comes up against one of them come at her maybe, because obviously she's going to know them from training, and all of that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be a tough game again, but I'm going to keep with my score lines as I almost got it right last night. I'm going to go 3-2 to the Arsenal again.
I mean, this is becoming a bit of a pattern, and we're going to get score predictions in a minute. I mean, my score prediction, I predicted the correct amount of goals. I just didn't correctly predict how they were going to be distributed, which I was rather annoyed by. But there we go. All good runs must come to an end. So it looks like my powers of prediction have left me. But yes, Willie Kirk, Manager of the Month, done a great job. Won their first 2 games, I believe, Matt. I think that was against Bristol and I want to say Everton, was it?
Yes.
Everton. Then lost to Manchester City and then late against Liverpool last weekend. Hobbinger, we pronounce it, with an 84th minute winner at Prenton Park. So it's an away game against Leicester. I think Willie Kirk's done a great job because for me, Leicester was always a team that had 0 points after 10 games and then won 2 games against the other team that got relegated and survived. It looks like they've got a lot more points on the board this time around, looking a much bigger threat. For me, my player is Leitzig, came in last season and gave them a really strong pair of gloves between the sticks. I think that's going to be a good. She's going to provide a wall, I think, between us, and it's going to be quite hard to get that goal. Fingers crossed. Obviously, Leicester were the last team we got a clean sheet against. Was as I said many times, the Frida Screamer at Meadow Park. Leicester have never scored against Arsenal in the WSL. Let's hope that trend continues. So I'm going to quickly get your starting 11s. We've got a few players who I think made their case against Bristol. A few players who may have been on the fringe you think they should have a shot the big time. Matt, anybody against Bristol you think deserves a crack at a starting position?
For this one, I would probably say that we will see Sabrina in goal for this one, just because Leicester are going to try and play. If they're going to try and play quick counter-attacking football, as we have seen in the past, then Sabrina will be brilliant. She'll come in, she'll come rushing out, she'll grab the ball, quick distribution, and then off we go. I'd imagine Steph would be on corners and free kicks as well. So Lotta is definitely going to be starting this one. I believe Leia Cadena is injured, so that's why I haven't seen her. Not too sure what's happening with Amanda at the moment. Not sure if she's 100% fit because she wasn't on the bench from from memory. So it might have to be that Jen. Actually, it might end up being a three at the back situation where we have Jen, Lotta, and Steph, then Casey as like the wing back, and then that probably means Noelle was a right back, and then you have both Leah and
Illisted was on the bench, I should say.
Oh, she was.
She was on the bench. She got the line. She didn't come on. We didn't need to bring her on in the end, but she was on the bench.
No, it wouldn't have hurt though. It would have been nice to see another Amanda header into the back of the net. I
was going to say, you just did remind me that Lotta goal. We finally scored from a cross. We finally headed a cross into the goal. It wasn't a second ball volley. First set piece, full clean set piece, headed goal. Not a second ball weldy volley.
Hello, are we forgetting about the Jen Beattie header last season? That was clean from across.
This season.
This season.
Okay, this season, I'll give you that.
It's our first set.
I know I'm obsessed with that goal, but that was a clean head in the goal. That was
the first set.
Oh my God, it's gone in. Didn't even realise it went in goal. A bit like Leah's one at Meadow Park last season.
Yeah, no, our first of the season. Actually, after all those thousands of crosses we saw against Liverpool and Villa, it's nice we finally got one in the net. Sorry, Matt, you were saying.
Yeah, just on the centre back situation, I'll probably go 3-2 and then 3-1, something like that. My maths is terrible, so I probably messed a number out somewhere.
5-3-2. But you're going to play a shot. Yeah. So you go back three with the wing backs,
and then you'd have Kim, Leah, and then I'd probably go with Frida just for this game.
Yeah,
that's an opportunity to then. We know Victoria's going to come into this game on or off the pitch. It doesn't matter. She's going to get minutes in this game.
Yep.
Certain. Then I would probably say nothing against Alessia. I think it's time for Stina to have a crack at being first.
Yeah.
First play. It's just different opposition. She's not going to get that opportunity to bring that ball down and have that bring others into play. But it'd be very much a wait and see. But I just have a feeling Stina needs to be playing this game against Leicester.
Yeah. Okay, Lottie, is this going to be the first WSL start for Kyra Cooney-Cross, or are we going to have to wait a bit longer for that?
I did like Matt's lineup, but I'd go with Sabrina in goal. I'd have no Maritz, Lotta, Jen Beattie, and I'm not going to put on the other side. Steph Catley. And then in the middle, I'm going to go for something different. I'm going to go for Kim Little. I'm going to bench Leah Volti and put Kyra Cooney-Cross in there. Because that's the combination I want to see.
Well, people have said that Kyra could be a Leah replacement as well, as rather than you saying Kim, but she could be a Leah Volti alternative. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and then I'd have Mead, Frida, Lena Hurtig and Stina Blackstone up top. I think Lena needs a WSL start because I was really, as I said, player of the match for me from what minutes she got, and it's just I wanted to see someone different on that side. As much as I adore Caitlin Ford, let's give someone else a run. Kate McCabe can come off the bench, and so on and so forth. Although I would probably swap out Catlin and start Katie.
I think that Jonas will try and keep McCabe in the team somehow, either as a right back or a left back or a left forward because of the form she's in. I think we will actually. I think a lot of the players. He heavily rotated the team for the Conti Cup, so I can see him unrotating that team back.
Oh no, 100%. So I just want something different. I just want to test something out. If anything, I want to see that Kyra Cooney-Cross and Kim Little combination. Anything else, I don't mind, but that's the combination I want to see next. If it works, it'll be great because Leah Volti. I know Matt's probably giving me daggers right now.
I'm not.
My feeling is that
it will give her a rest because she doesn't get rotated out, nor does Kim.
No,
And that's what worries me. And I think that's where with Kimmy we're struggling. She's struggling through the season. We saw how many times she went out last season. I think that rotation is going to be needed there.
I think that's also positive that we've also got Kathleen Millen-Call as well, because she can effectively do both at the same time as both Kim and Leah as well. So it's not a case of one or the other. You've got other people. Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, that's fine. I was going to say my feeling is Frida, I think, had probably one of the best games of the season so far against Bristol. I think that was helped by the fact she was playing behind Stina rather than Russo. I do think that, we saw how good the two of them worked last season. If we start Stina, we could start Frida. If we started Russo, I think Kim. I'd like to see Pullover at 10, but I know that Jonas will probably put Kim at 10 and put Pullover at deep. I think we'll go back 4. I think we'll go Lottie and Amanda. And whilst I think we should start Maritz, I wouldn't be surprised if McCabe went to right back and Catley left back, so Jonas can crowbar her in. I think Ford will come in on the left, but I think maybe Stina will start. I think Stina will start as a striker with Frida behind, and I think Beth Mead will start on the right. And that feels unfair on Chloe Lacasse because she's been amazing. But I think Lacasse is going to be explosive off the bench at Leicester. And I think Leicester is a tougher prospect than it was last season. And you can't afford to just be like, oh, we'll use this. We can really go full section against Leicester because they're not the cannon fodder of last season. They're a step up. And I think we need to treat them as such. I think Sabrina may just get the swing on this one. I think Myers had a few games in goal, was great against Man City. But I think Sabrina deserves another crack and a WSL start. So that's an idea of our sort of starting 11s. And Leah Velty starts as well with Kim with Pullover in the midfield. But I think I should say Kyra Cooney-Cross, I think she'll come off the bench. I think she will play a part, hopefully, at Leicester. So before we wrap up, because sadly we have run out of time, there's just a quick chance for some score predictions. So going to just be the Arsenal ones this week. So Matt's going to come up to you. Leicester Arsenal, go.
Oh, I keep on doing it. 2-1 Arsenal.
Oh, come on. You've got to give me a bit of variety here. Lottie, you're going to go 3-2, as you've already said. So I've got to go for a score prediction, and I've got to hopefully wrong for the Conti Cup, and I've got to hopefully right for the WSL game. So I'm going to replay my 4-0 scoreline and hopefully comes true this time. So I'm going to go 4-0, and I think Stina, who's now our top scorer at the moment this season across all competitions, I think that's 4 goals in all competitions, I think, so far. Champions League, Conti Cup, and 2 in the league. So hope she keeps that good form going. And I think Russo will come off the bench and get a goal for herself as well.
I'm going to call for a Vivian Miedemar goal this weekend. That's my hot take of the weekend.
I think we would all relish the prospect of a Viv comeback goal. And a Mead comeback goal as that as well. We'd be good to see our ACLs off the mark for the season. Would be a very, very nice crowning moment. But that is it. That's all the time we have for this one. A lot of Bristol, bit of Leicester, but we'll be back after the weekend to see just how inaccurate and poor predictors we truly are. I very much look forward to it. But before I say goodbye, just a quick chance for my fellow co-conspirators to let us know where we can find you on social media. Matt, whereabouts are you?
You can find me at MattLR28.
And Lottie, where can we find you?
On Twitter and Instagram, Lottie_AWFC, or you can find any of us on the VAW pod, which is our main page.
Absolutely. Do make sure you check it out. That's where all our episodes will be uploaded, and we'll all be retweeting it from our accounts. So if you subscribe to that Twitter account, you never miss an update. Also, if you want, give our YouTube video a like, and do subscribe on the Apple Pods so it's on your phone so you can listen to it on the drive, on the go, or if you're bored at home, or if you want some pre-match content before another kickoff at Meadow Park. But yes, thank you very much for tuning in, for listening in, for watching in. It's been great having you with us. I hope you enjoyed the chat as much as we did, and hope you enjoyed all the mistakes I made along the way, because it makes it even more funny, especially at my expense. Until then, until the next one, enjoy your WSL weekend. Best of luck to the Arsenal, and we'll catch you soon.